All right, we are back. Today, we're going to look at what Paul Saladino is up to. My entire day of eating for longevity.
This is what I eat in a day, 2026 edition. I'm going to show you guys everything I eat in a day. I'm going to take you through every gram of protein, fat, and carbohydrates. I'm going to be honest with you. I've added some new stuff to my diet recently.
Oh, there you go again. He changed his diet again. Well, let's see what the fuck he's up to this time.
That I'm going to show you in this video. Stuff that you might not expect me to eat, but
I mean, already in the middle. What is that? Is that a potato or this is strange? Maybe a fruit?
trying to be healthier. I'm always trying to feel better.
Leave a comment down below if you know what that is.
And I'm always trying to eat as varied a diet as possible while kicking as much butt as possible.
Why as varied as possible? I never understood, like, why would variety equate health? We never see that consistently in any other form of animals around the earth. Like they most of them eat a few specific food that's designed for their genetics, but yeah, it's just a strange claim.
At the same time. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you the full calorie, macronutrient, and micronutrient breakdown of what I've eaten in this day. I'm going to tell you how many calories I ate total, how much protein, how much fat, how many carbohydrates, and show you all of the vitamins and minerals.
If I had to guess,
in a day. So let's get into it.
I'm
going to begin by showing you what I eat first thing in the morning, right when I get up, before I go to surf. Let's go.
There you go. We start with carbs. I mean, how evolutionary consistent or accurate can smoothies be? I mean, don't get me wrong. I've done smoothies in the past, but was it optimal? Did it make me feel better? Maybe not.
First thing I do in the morning is I start with a glass of water. I have reverse osmosis water, and that is what I mix my creatine into. It's important that your creatine is pure, third-party tested, and
creatine.
There's a trick here that I want to show you guys.
Guys, you do not need to take creatine from external sources. If you eat a species-appropriate diet, 1 kilo of red meat contains about 5 grams of creatine, which is about the dose that you should have. And if your diet is based predominantly of meat from ruminant animal, like it should be, then you will have no problem to hit your daily amount of creatine. And not only that, everything that's contained within beef will actually help and enhance the absorption of your creatine, such as taurine as well. So there's always a synergistic effect that you wouldn't get from taking an isolated supplements. And it's pretty much the same with most supplements. They act on the body like a drug. Am I denying that creatine does something to your body? No, it certainly does. I just question if whatever it does, the way it targets a specific process in your body, I feel like there's always a metabolic cost to that. And not only that, probably some toxicity as well from the production of whatever it took to make this shit.
You get bloating from creatine. Make sure that your creatine is fully mixed.
You heard what he said?
You don't want to be drinking gritty.
He literally debunked himself. He said, oh, you don't want to take creatine like this, it's going to make you bloated. Why the fuck would you take something that makes you bloated when you can eat a beautiful kilo of raw ruminant animal like beef or lamb, and it's going to make you feel fantastic? It'll give you all the fucking creatine without whatever issues and without paying the pretty high price that comes with all those supplements. Sorry, but I prefer putting my money into some beautiful grass-fed organic beef, locally raised. Fuck's sake.
The creatine at the bottom, you want enough water to mix 5 grams of creatine. You're going to need at least 300 mLs or around 10.5, 11 ounces of water. And if the water is a warmer temperature, it will mix better. Most people have heard of creatine, but here's my quick creatine optimization protocol.
Fuck this.
5 grams of creatine monohydrate daily.
I remember a time when health was simpler, where you didn't need fucking pills, powders, and potions.
Third-party trusted source. Fully mix it in water. Make sure there's no gritty creatine at the bottom. That's what causes bloating. If you want your creatine to be better absorbed, you want to take it with carbohydrates, with 50 grams of honey or some fruit or some fruit juice. And the last thing, there is some evidence that shows that if you take creatine after a workout, that might improve its effectiveness slightly. It's not a big deal.
Sure, Paul.
In this case, I'm going to take my creatine before I surf. I'm not using this post-workout, but if you want to optimize, that's the fourth thing with creatine. Make sure,
don't get me
or
wrong.
at least try.
I like Paul. He just talks a lot.
See if creatine after your workout improves it. Never dry scoop creatine. Not a good thing for your gut and bloating. That's the worst way to do it. So what's in the smoothie? You got raw milk, frozen, wild organic blueberries,
Raw milk is fine if you can digest it.
grass-fed whey protein.
Again, why? Like, he eats an animal-based diet. You do not need to add more protein to your smoothies. Just reduce the carbs. Eat more meat. Fuck's sake.
Organs, raw, organic,
Yeah, he just wants to plug his product. That's why.
glyphosate-free honey. I'm gonna put a pinch of sea salt in the smoothie, and that's what I do. So I mix it all up in the blender. I've got the stainless steel attachment from Vitamix to minimize plastics, and that is what I drink pre-surf. And you might look at this and say, man, Paul, there's a lot of products there that you sell. And yeah, that's right.
No shit.
That's why I built these products, because I actually use them every day. I wanted to get good quality organs because it's hard to get testicle and liver sometimes. So I've got heart and soil whole package. There was such a problem with whey protein on the market. They were all contaminated, full of artificial sweeteners, artificial flavors, things that I didn't want in a whey protein. They were full of lecithin and binders and gums. I didn't want any of that stuff. So really,
like, he drinks raw milk. It's already like the perfect dairy food. Why do you need to add whey?
proud of this one that we made at Heart and Soil, the grass-fed whey protein. It's definitely the highest quality whey protein we could find anywhere. And then when it comes to honey, I don't want extra pesticides in my honey. So I'm proud of our glyphosate-free raw honey at Lineage. So yeah, of course I use the products that we sell because that's why we built them. So
no shit.
That's my smoothie, and then it's off to surf. You can probably see here that as I'm putting stuff in the smoothie, there is a very noticeable, large stainless steel coffee machine in the background. It's
Fucking
not my coffee
again.
machine. Although if you're gonna drink
Fucking slave piss. This is what people drink. Slave piss every day. Fuck.
coffee, the Lineage Regen Roast is hands down the best I've ever seen. It's organic, it's regenerative, it's shade
So he doesn't even drink coffee, but he's just plugging his coffee because he's selling it.
grown, whatever. This coffee machine is actually my girlfriend's because she drinks coffee.
Yeah. Come on, Paul. Not only you're plugging your coffee, but now you're throwing your girlfriend under the bus. Fuck's sake.
So don't think I'm cheating and not telling you guys about my coffee. Nope, that's not mine, that's hers.
Okay. At least he's got a stainless steel attachment for the Vitamix. Got to get myself that. Yay, powders and pills.
This may look like a lot of fruit, but
It is.
I'm pretty hungry when I get back from
I feel like every time I look at his meal, the meat reduces and gets smaller, and there's more and more fruits. And whatever the fuck that is that?
surfing. I've been out there for a few hours. Most of the time, this second breakfast is eaten around 10 a.m.
Second breakfast. Fuck, when you're on carnivore, you eat like twice a day and you feel great. Why do you need a second breakfast? Does that mean you're going to eat like 4 times? You're going to have lunch and dinner after?
for me. So I've been up for a while. I usually get up around 5 or 5:30. I get out to surf by 6, 6:30.
Lucky.
I'm in the water for a couple
Plenty
hours.
of sun.
So
It's really
I'm
nice.
getting the calories in. And no, I don't worry about fructose or fruit causing diabetes. There's absolutely no evidence for that. In fact, there's evidence to the contrary. All sorts of fruits and fruit juices improve endothelial function, decrease oxidative stress in the human body, improve DNA repair. So I think fruit is a healthy thing
What about glycation?
when it's eaten in proportion to your activity level. I'm definitely thinking about organic cantaloupe. Glyphosate is a huge problem. The pesticide.
I mean, a lot of people, like Bart K, Face IQ, maybe Self Maxer, I don't know who else mentioned, but they all said that Paul Saladino looked better when he was on pure carnivore. And that now he just looks a little, like it's doing its damage. What do you guys think? Let me know down below.
Over $11 billion in lawsuits against Bayer Monsanto, the makers of Roundup, glyphosate, that are alleging that glyphosate is connected with cancer. So I'm looking for organic food. Obviously, I would urge you guys to do the same. What you invest in your food, I think, is the biggest return on investment you can get out of anything. Buying higher quality food is going to cost you more, but you're supporting farmers that make higher quality things that support you and your family and your health long term. Not being healthy is the worst thing in the world.
It sucks.
What's the point of having more money if you're not healthy enough to enjoy it? Also carbohydrates, I've got yucca. I've been experimenting.
No, don't eat yuccas, guy. It's pretty toxic. I think there's like, is it cyanide or arsenic in it? And in one of those, I remember at some point I was using a lot of yucca and it just gave me like a real stomach upset.
With different carbohydrate sources. So at the beginning of this video, I told you there were a couple of things in the video that were new for me. One of the things I've been experimenting with recently are starches. And a lot of them didn't work for me. The whole reason I got started on this health journey was that my eczema and asthma were problematic for me. And doing a carnivore diet originally helped reverse a lot of those things.
Good. Why did you stop?
Being keto on a carnivore diet didn't work for my body. I had electrolyte insufficiency and felt generally horrible. In the beginning, it was great. Then it went downhill at the end. So I feel better with carbohydrates.
Did it? Based on what? According to whom?
For most of the last 4.5 years, I've eaten exclusively fruit for carbohydrates, fruit and squash. Squash is technically a fruit. There's a lot of bio-individuality in who we are as humans. We don't
Sure.
all react the same way to certain foods. I tend to have a very sensitive immune system, which means that I don't react well to all foods. I know I don't do well with tomatoes, for instance, which are a fruit, because they're a nightshade. White rice, I don't feel good on white rice. It makes me feel kind of foggy, a little bit bloated. And when I look at the health profile of rice, it's very hard to eliminate the arsenic, the heavy metals in rice. So then I've landed on yucca, which is easy to get here in Costa Rica. If you've never seen this root, it looks like a big brown root. Maybe it looks like a big poo. You have to prepare it in a certain way. You can't just eat yucca raw because it does have cyanide and cyanide containing compounds in the skin.
There you go.
So to make
cyanide.
this yucca, I had to cut the yucca up. I had to peel.
It's seriously, prepping the yucca is a pain in the ass. I know, I used to be a chef and it's a pain in the ass.
Peel the yucca. I have to boil
Just eat meat, it's simpler.
the yucca. And then I have to pull out, there's a little spine in the middle of the yucca, a little woody spine that I have to pull out. It's a lot of work to get to this, but it's worth it for me. I've experimented, like I said, with multiple starches. I even tried sourdough, guys, and I think it's triggering to my immune system. I tried fermented oats. So I've been trying to incorporate more foods in my diet. The whole point of being healthy is to eat good foods and to feel good, but to have as varied and interesting a diet as you can possibly have. So
What? No, look what he said. I think he's just reincorporating things in his diet just because he wants the entertainment and the kind of a drug trip that food gives you. Because essentially, like, adding back in all of these things that might trigger you is not contributing to anything beyond what he had before with the carnivore diet. All it's doing is interfering with what your body's perfectly designed to run with. Why would you bother? It's just for essentially entertainment. That's what food is. Anything beyond like ruminant animal meat is just basically entertainment.
I'm not trying to limit myself. I'm not trying to be dogmatic.
Like a little fruit here and there when it's in season, just before the winter, when you want to upregulate your Randall cycle to signal to your body to put on fat. I get it. This is like nature's perfect cycle. But having this amount of carbs at every meal, every day, that's not consistent with the way we would have evolved in nature. Like most of these things, they don't exist in nature. I know, I was in Costa Rica and you walk around with a guide in the jungle, which is arguably one of the most fertile areas of the world. And yet you're like, hey guide, where are the fruits? Well, there's none because most of them are weird and small and bitter and they're really up high in the canopy where all the fucking monkeys are partying on them. Do you really think as human, we would have had the capacity to fight with the monkeys for fruit rights instead of just killing an animal and feeling amazing using our best tools, which is throwing shit?
Let that all go many years ago when I stopped being a strict carnivore, but I am trying to understand what works best for my body. Again, what works best for me may not work well for you, but maybe there are some of you watching who do have food sensitivities and will find value in that. So I don't think
there's a big difference between eating what's optimal for you and eating for fun and entertainment, which is essentially everything we do in society. I get it. Like fruits, they taste fucking amazing. I'll get it. Like I would like to eat it all the time, but I don't just because I know it fucks up my body. Some people will be more tolerant to more fruit. Does it mean they should eat them? Probably not. It doesn't mean that you're more tolerant to something that you should do it. Some people can take a punch in their face better than others. Does that mean that they should punch themselves in the face just because they're more tolerant to it? It's the stupidest logic ever. Fuck's sake.
All, even single ingredient foods work for all people. Figure out what works for you on the carbohydrate side. Maybe it's just fruit and squash. Maybe you can do potatoes. Maybe cassava is better. Maybe sweet potatoes work for you. Maybe you're not as sensitive as I am to oxalates.
Yeah, that's like he's saying it. If you can tolerate it, does not mean you should have it in your diet for optimal health. Hello?
We've got about 5.5 ounces, maybe 6 ounces of a grass-fed skirt steak here.
That looks like good quality
I cooked it
meat,
on the
though.
grill. I've got some sea salt on there.
That fucking bavette looked fucking delicious. Give me more of that.
When it comes to salt, I think a lot about salts. We did a whole collaboration with the AB and
Oh,
RF.
I know. Yeah,
You're surprised
fuck your
at the health community.
salts.
But
Blah,
these
blah,
salts
blah.
both tested to have no
Clean salts, we get it,
This
Paul.
is a very nutrient-rich breakfast, and
The beef is, I mean, the rest, not so nutrients, you'd say.
I'm trying to have high nutrients, low toxins, and high digestibility. Now it's time to eat my second breakfast.
Let's go,
And
Paul.
then we'll get on with the day.
Eat that shit.
And next will be a little mid-afternoon snack. And I'm continuing to add up the...
That's the problem. Like, I feel when I was eating a bunch of carbs and working on hard, I felt like I needed to eat every 2 hours. Like, it's always like a more snack because you're feeding your body through the glucose mechanism. That means that it's a fast fuel, but it's a cheap one that doesn't sustain you for long. You don't get like the same stable energy as like ketones when you're fat adapted. Go try it. You have to feel it to know what I mean. And yeah, it's just you're like burning on fumes all the time, and you always have to like shove in some coal, figuratively.
Macros for everything. If you stick around to the end of the video, I'll show you the macros and the micronutrient breakdown for my entire day. So what do I have in the afternoon commonly? I've got something like raw Greek yogurt, and I put in some banana. I've got a duck egg yolk in there. You think it's gross, but it's actually amazing. And I put a little bit of the lineage honey. And then if I want a little extra protein, I'll get a few of the meat sticks.
The thing is, if you combine this much carbs and fat, you will upregulate the Randle cycle. The random cycle. And that can create a lot of problems. The little sausage looks nice.
Lineage.
It's dried,
at this
but
point in the
why
day,
not?
some people comment, oh, you're eating a lot of sugar. Well, yes and no. Here's the deal. Processed sugar, stripped naked sucrose, causes dysbiosis at the level of your gut. Overgrowth, especially of gram-negative bacteria, leads to increase in something called lipopolysaccharide or endotoxin. That seeps into your bloodstream, and the resulting inflammation from increased levels of LPS can add fuel to the fire of metabolic dysfunction. And
Okay, fine. Yes, refined sugars are worse than whatever you're eating there. Does that mean this is optimal? I'm not sure.
insulin resistance. Honey doesn't do that. Fruit doesn't do that. So the bananas in here, the cantaloupe I had at breakfast, the fruit that I'll have at dinner, these do not fuel obesity. They do not fuel diabetes. They do not fuel insulin resistance.
Dude, I get it, man. You're just addicted to your fruits. Just say it. Just say it. I love the taste of fruit. I'm addicted to it and I can't stop. I know. Every time I reincorporate some fucking fruits in my carnivore diet, I just want to eat more of it. Like a crack addict. What can I say?
There's absolutely zero, read my lips, zero evidence that fruit leads to diabetes. In fact, there's lots of good evidence.
I'm too tired to
that
watch
fruit,
this shit.
even fruit juices, are healthy for humans. Obviously, you should eat carbohydrates in proportion to your activity level. And I'm an active human. As you'll see coming up at the end of this video, I'm going to show you all my calories.
Don't need
I'm
carbs.
consuming a lot of carbohydrates. But remember, I also surfed for 2 hours this morning, and I'm going to get a workout this afternoon between my midday work session and my end of the day work session.
So, I mean, he went like a year and a half on carnivore diet without any significant problem, apart from certain biomarkers that he probably interpreted as bad, but he felt great. He was doing the same amount of activity, arguably maybe even more. So why all of a sudden you would eat the carbs? Like when your body can produce it through gluconeogenesis at the perfect level that your body needs. I don't get it. Like, why are you trying to just say you love your fruits and you're addicted to it? Admit it. That's it. Nobody's going to say anything. Everybody's going to agree. It's fine.
In the gym, I'm going to go ahead and eat this. I'm going to get a little quick workout in the gym. I might get a little work done, and then I'm going to come back and show you guys what I eat for dinner. Okay, it's right about 5 p.m. I go to sleep really early in Costa Rica, so I like to eat at least 2 to 3 hours before I go to sleep. So now it's dinner time. I'm going to finish.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, Costa Rica is near the equator, so the sun goes down more or less at similar times, pretty early, which is fine. Good circadian rhythm.
Finish eating by around 5:30. And yes, I will probably be in bed by 8:30 tonight because I get up around 5 a.m. or 5:30 to go surf. So what do I have here for dinner? I've got some grass-fed ground beef from the same local farm. Steak is amazing, but eating steak every day, even I don't want to do that. I want to get mix it up, and it's nice to have something that's a cheap.
So he just puts honey on the meat. Sure, it makes it taste pretty good. So here, sugar, lactose. Here, more sugar. Here, more sugar. And here, more carbs. And carbs for this much meat.
For options. So we got grass-fed ground beef here. I've got a little bit of the same lineage honey on it, and I've got some salt. Meat is an incredible source of nutrients, guys. And I want to say something here. I believe that red meat, grass-fed ruminant animals, cows, bison, elk, antelope, deer. These
All
are
of that
the
shit makes
single
me
best
hungry.
source, the cleanest source of protein for humans on the planet today, hands
doubt.
down, period T, end of story, full stop. So one of the reasons I like whey protein is it's very high in an amino acid called muscle. By not getting cold from stimulate protein.
Not the fucking powders
I'm
again.
30 have enough to have
Can we just stick to real food?
Right? Ladies, I'm talking, if you want enough animal,
Blah,
which
blah,
is
blah,
don't
blah.
hit an ounce, I'll do it a few nights a week to get the extra Oregon
Sorry about
multivitamin.
that.
Got a glass of raw
Okay,
milk
he's got a little
from
piece
a
of
local
liver
farm. I've been to the farm that makes this
Nice, yeah. I do the same. I swallow a bit of raw liver.
raw milk. I've seen the cows, I've seen the goats, and I know that it's all clean, which is amazing. Back here, I've got some yucca. I'm doing it twice a day now because I feel better.
Twice a day? Like, why do you need to reincorporate something twice a day? Typically, if you reincorporate a food to test how it does on your body, I would reincorporate it one day, because sometimes like the negative effect can be 2 days after. It's like me, I tried to reintroduce dairy 2-3 days ago and it just totally fuck up my face. So sometimes like the skin issues, they will show up a few days after. So you need to kind of stop and give yourself the time to react to it.
More calories. I got some grass-fed butter on it. I've got some watermelon here for some fruit at dinner, which is going to be refreshing at the end of a hot day in Costa Rica. And then I've got some asparagus.
Why?
Yeah, asparagus. I bet you guys didn't expect to see anything green on
No, we didn't expect anything green, because like a couple years ago, we would have said, asparagus is bullshit.
my plate. But like I said earlier in the video, I've been experimenting with a few new foods and I feel pretty decent with asparagus. It's nice to get some variety, different flavors. And so I'm open.
There you go. He said it. I can't blame him. He just wants variety in the diet. And I get it. Like even me sometimes on the carnivore diet, I get kind of a little bored. I was a chef, for fuck's sake. I got introduced to like an enormous variety of food entertainment for my palate. So of course, when you go carnivore, to a certain extent, you're reducing that party you had in your mouth, but it's a sacrifice. It's a way of living. You're sacrificing it to feel better, essentially.
To incorporating a few vegetables, I guess technically yucca is a vegetable as well, into my diet as long as I feel good with them. This is what I've got for dinner tonight. So at the beginning of this video, I promised you that at the end of this day of eating, I would show you my macros.
Nobody
calories,
cares about the
and my
fucking
micronutrients.
macros.
Let's get into the calories, the macros, and the micronutrients. I got 3,177 calories. So
Sure.
I'm not gaining weight. I stay right around 10% body fat. So clearly I'm burning that. Now, I do have a lot of activity, but I also think that
Yeah, but if he ate the same amount of calories, just pure carnivore, he would be way more satiated and full for longer. Probably would eat only twice in a day. Jesus, 320 grams of carbs. I think like Bart K would say, that's just the typical mistake of pursuing biomarkers and lab results instead of how you feel and what would be logical, or what you were doing was already working. And most people argue that you look better when you did so.
the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates do not make you obese. They do not make you diabetic.
They can.
They do not do any of those things.
They can make you diabetic. I mean, fuck. Diabetes. The definition of diabetes itself is chronically elevated blood glucose, for fuck's sake. That doesn't come from meat and protein. It comes from carbs.
So it's all healthy.
I mean, I know he's just throwing words around, and I know he knows that, but it's just misleading, guys.
So that's my calorie, macronutrient, and micronutrient breakdown of what I eat in a day. And I took you guys through everything I did this day. I hope that helps. The goal of this video is not to give you a blueprint to copy and paste. I don't think everyone needs to eat like me, but the goal is to help you think about the first principles that I use to determine what I'm going to eat in a day, right?
What's the first principle that I use? I'm just going to eat more carbs? You wrote a book on carnivore and gave you amazing results. Why are you trying to fix something that's not broken?
Right now I feel really good in my life. My autoimmune symptoms are basically non-existent. My sleep is good. My libido is good. My workouts are good. I feel good throughout the day. I have good mental clarity throughout the day. I'm
I mean, at the end of the day, fair enough, man. As long as you feel good, that's all we want, man.
productive. So I'm in a good place. That's what I want for all of you.
All right, guys, what do you guys think? I would like to have your opinion, because I am not sure that you need to eat this much carbohydrates in order to be healthy. I feel like Paul might be overdoing it a little bit. I feel like just over the years, his meat portion just got smaller and smaller, and the carbs just starting to take over, which to me is kind of a sign that you're a little bit too addicted to your carbs. So, also, I was looking into like the varieties of different genes and who has more copies of the amylase gene to digest carbs and things like that. I also did like a genetic test with a very good geneticist, and I was asking him like, when you not analyze the gene, like who do you see that are the most tolerant to carbs? And typically, Caucasians are not really good at metabolizing carbs, just because we've evolved in areas of the world where there was snow most of the year. We didn't have access to plants, so it just makes sense, right? But again, I would argue doesn't mean that you can tolerate it, that you should abundantly eat it, if that makes any sense. All right, guys, that'll be it for today. I'll see you the next one.